Get comfortable looking dumb. Get comfortable looking dumb in public so that you can be great in the long run. The number one thing that's stopping you from greatness is your ability, your willingness to look stupid. You scared to be embarrassed. You scared to not look perfect in front of other people. That's what we talking about today. Get comfortable looking dumb. Get comfortable being embarrassed. Get comfortable not having it all together. What's up? This is Jamai, and you're tuned into Manifesting Stardom. This is my journey to being the biggest star in the world. And I just wanted to talk to you because I bet you whatever it is that you're not pursuing, it's because you're afraid to look stupid. You're afraid to be embarrassed. You're afraid to not look like you. You're afraid to look like you don't have it all together. And so I got 3 scriptures that's going to help you. And I'm going to pray at the end of this episode. But, this is Manifesting Stardom. This is the behind the scenes, the vlog to me being the biggest star in the world. And so one of the biggest things that I have to do every day is be okay with looking crazy. I have to be okay with being okay with releasing music or videos or vlogs that maybe will only have 5, 10, 15, 100, 200, 300 views. I have to be okay with releasing vlogs of me doing choreography and dancing and singing, and I'm cracking and I'm flat and my guitar solos are whack and I look goofy doing choreography. That is a part of my journey. That is a part of me perfecting my craft, of being a master. I have to be okay with not looking up to par how I want to be presented as an artist. And if you of a certain age, like me, I grew up in the 2000s where artists were artists and you didn't know nothing about them, and you kind of only saw them in interviews, and they was always put together. They were always presented themselves well. They always had a mysterious mystique to them. And so times have changed to now where people want to know who you are as a person. They want to know your life in order to buy into your brand and your music. And so that was something that was really hard for me, allowing people to really get to know me, because I always stood by my talent is good enough. I don't need you to know my personal life. I don't need you to know everything about me. But I've evolved to understand that there are parts of my life that I'm allowing people to see, and they are the most important parts, which is the creative parts, the spiritual parts of me, because that is the core of who I am. Most of who I am is my art. I know a lot of people say, this is not who I am. This not who I am. It's what I do. For me, it is who I am. My art is who I am. What I do is who I am. I am an artist. I'm an artist all the time. And so I've had to be willing to allow you guys to see my process. And my process means that the rehearsals, I mess up. And do it over and over. When I practice piano, I'm learning stuff that good pianists had to learn when they were kids, and so it's just a matter of being willing to be embarrassed, being willing to, I shouldn't say be embarrassed, and I don't even like to use the word looking dumb, because words are powerful, so I don't like to use that word. But the reality is, you got to be willing to look dumb. Not that you look dumb, but you got to be willing to look dumb. You got to be willing to look goofy in the gym when you first start out. You got to be willing to look a little weird when you're doing this choreography and you're not that comfortable with movement. You got to be willing to be embarrassed or willing to look dumb when you talking to a camera, or you doing TikToks and people look. You got to be willing, bro. You have to be willing. So the first scripture I have is 1 Corinthians 1:27. It says, God chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. So that means that everybody wants to be at the top. Everybody wants to lavish the beautiful things. But God said in order to get that, you have to go through this season of humility. You have to go through this season of learning. You have to go through this season of trying and trying and trying and trying and trying before you can get to that. That God chose that is the only route to get to mastery, to get to success, to get to growth. You know what I'm saying? He chose that as the route. It said God chose things the world considers foolish in order to shame those who think they are wise. The second scripture is Proverbs 24:16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again. The key part of this scripture is the righteous. So that means that only the righteous fall 7 times and rise again. So that means any other thing, you ain't righteous. In other words, the righteous fall 7 times and try again. The unrighteous, the unsuccessful, the great, the people that aren't great, the people that don't amount to anything, they don't fall and get up. The righteous fall 7 times and get up. So when you falling, you don't think that you're the righteous. When you failing, you don't think that you're the chosen one. When you low, you don't think that you feel like you're the failure. But God said, the fact that you fail, oh, that's good. That's a good word. Turn to somebody and say, the fact that I failed, the fact that I didn't reach that goal that time, the fact that I failed at something I tried, the fact that I wasn't good at it is what made me righteous. I heard Oprah Winfrey say, we fail forward, meaning every time we fall, we falling forward. We're falling closer to the goal. We're falling closer to the finish line. So the righteous fall 7 times and rise again. So in order to be righteous, in order to be great, you have to fall and rise again. The righteous don't just go straight to perfection. The righteous don't go and just was born perfect and just operate fully in their gift. The righteous fall 7 times and rise again. That's amazing. That just gave me a revelation. Another scripture is Ecclesiastes 7:8. Finishing is better than starting. It's so simple but so profound. Finishing is better than starting. And why is finishing better than starting? Because a lot of us, we start things, and when we don't get the result, when we don't see that it's no longer easy, when we lose the motivation, what do? We start something else. We take a break. So God is saying, God is ordaining that finishing something is better than starting something. So if you're in the middle of something, it's better to finish that than to stop that and start something else. These are all things that show us that in the process of you not wanting to finish this, you looking dumb, you being embarrassed, people not buying your music, people not watching your vlog, people not coming to your shows, people not buying your art, people not picking you, people not supporting you, people not buying your... Finishing is better than starting. So God is saying you are more blessed when you finish something than you are when you start something. Because when you start something, you're doing it out of motivation, you're doing it out of inspiration, and you may be doing it out of purpose. But when you finish something, you have added confidence, you've added perseverance to your resume, you've added tenacity, you've added stamina when you finish. And you've earned the right to something when you finish something. So finishing is way better than starting something. So that starting period, that was cute. Like, that was cool. But this little middle part where you want to give up, where you want to try something, nah, God is saying that right here is better than for you to start something else. And James 1:4, I love this, one of my favorite scriptures. But this part of this scripture says, let perseverance finish its work. In other words, the same thing I've been saying. When you in it, that is the work. The process is the perfection. You only going to get the dance moves right if you do it 1,000 times. If you started to learn a choreography because you wanted to do it and look good doing it. Well, once you do it 1,000 times, you're going to look good doing it. Let perseverance finish its work. Don't stop at doing it 3-4 times. Do it 1,000 times. Do it 10,000 times. So you can be on the other side of it. Let perseverance finish its work. Give perseverance a chance to finish its work. And that perseverance period is you looking dumb. That perseverance period is the valley. That perseverance period is when your family telling you to go get a real job. That perseverance period is when none of your peoples is supporting you. That perseverance period is when you are second guessing, why the hell did I say I want to do this? Excuse me, I had dairy. So you gotta get comfortable. You would do yourself a service by saying, yeah, I know I look crazy right now, but I'm willing to look crazy to get what I need to do what I need to be to get where I want to get to. One of the best things that could ever happen was in a homecoming documentary. And you know, Beyonce is the standard. Beyonce always been the standard. Beyonce will always be the standard. And the thing that sucks about being a Beyonce fan is she does not give you a lot of insight on her process. And so even her documentary style, we appreciate it because she don't share anything. But I sometimes feel like the documentary style is still curated and it's still very limited in what she shows, which I think is all goes into the brilliance of why we love her. However, in the homecoming documentary, when she was coming back after having her babies, and it was her first rehearsal, dance rehearsal, and she said, people don't like to look crazy. That's why people don't rehearse. That's her exact words. That's why people don't rehearse, because they don't want to look funny. They don't want to look weird. They don't want to look crazy. That's why people don't rehearse, because they scared to look stupid. They scared to look dumb. That was all I needed to hear. Is my greatest inspiration saying, people don't rehearse because they scared to look crazy. That's why they don't rehearse, because they scared to look funny. They scared to not get it right. They're fearful of how they're gonna look. It's the last time I ever had to be scared about anything, and that's not true. I've been fearful about looking crazy times after that, but that is something that I use as motivation. That Beyonce be looking crazy in rehearsal, if Beyonce is willing to let perseverance finish the work, then I need to let perseverance finish the work, because we all love Beyonce. And even all of us that say we don't love Beyonce, we all know that she's the greatest entertainer of all. So even if you don't love her, you know what's up. Anybody don't love Beyonce, they like an Android user. But I'm not gonna stick on that. I ain't gonna get on that. But let perseverance do its work, man. And the day you decide that I'm willing to look crazy, I'm going to go to the gym and not know what these machines do and how to work this and how I'm doing this, or I don't know how to do a podcast, but I'm going to try to figure out this mic, and I'm going to try, or I hate my voice when I do videos and TikToks, and I hate my skin, or I hate this, but I'm going to do it. That is the day you will be free. That's the day you'll be liberated, because 99% of the time, the thing that you are worried about, most people don't care about. And once you liberate yourself from it, people don't have anything to talk about. I've revealed the thing that I'm insecure about. I've revealed the thing that I'm hiding. So what is there for me to be embarrassed about? You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of me revealing it, that thing is diminishing, because my confidence is growing, my success is on its way. Ain't nothing to be worried about. So, if you want it, be okay with looking dumb. I'll see you tomorrow. This is Manifesting Stardom, and I need to stop eating dairy, drinking dairy. I had pizza last night because I didn't eat all day, and so now this is why I'm sounding like this. So I need to learn the lesson to not eat dairy anymore, and I'll see you tomorrow.